Caregiver stress in relation to well-being. What is well-being? There are many definitions of well-being, but this one is the closest to what I would consider well-being and what it means to me. It includes having good mental health, high life satisfaction, a sense of meaning or purpose, and the ability to manage stress. If you are struggling, your doctor might give you an evaluation, such as a satisfaction with life scale, to evaluate your well-being. It asks a series of questions and requires you to rate them, such as 7 strongly agree, 6 agree, 5 slightly agree, 4 neither agree nor disagree, 3 slightly agree, 2 disagree, and 1 strongly disagree. This may help you recognize that if you need help if you are suffering from caregiver stress. This is the life satisfaction scale, and as mentioned in the previous slide, there's the rating, and the questions are: in most ways my life is close to my ideal, the conditions of my life are excellent, I'm satisfied with my life, so far I've gotten the important things I want in life, and if I could live my life over, I would change almost nothing. What would your answers be? If the sum of your total were the following, then this is what your well-being would be considered. 31 to 35 is extremely satisfied. 26 to 30 is satisfied. 21 to 25 is slightly satisfied. 20 is neutral. 15 to 19 is slightly dissatisfied. 10 to 14 is dissatisfied. 5 to 9 is extremely dissatisfied. What is caregiver stress? Caregiver stress happens when you become completely absorbed into your role as a caregiver and don't take time to care for your own needs. As a caregiver of a spouse, disabled child or adult, a person who is sick, and even an aging adult, a role where you are the sole provider for that person's care can drain you of your well-being. We saw caregiver stress during the COVID-19 pandemic as well. Just like when you are out to eat and ask a waiter for refills, you must take that time for yourself and fill your cup back up in order to be the best caregiver you can for the people you are taking care of. Signs of caregiver stress. Watch for these signs of caregiver stress: feeling overwhelmed or constantly worried, feeling tired often, getting too much sleep or not enough sleep, gaining or losing weight, becoming easily irritated or angry, losing interest in activities you used to enjoy, feeling sad, having frequent headaches, bodily pain, or other physical problems, abusing alcohol or drugs, including prescription medications. How does well-being relate to caregiver stress? Well-being can affect all aspects of someone's life. If you aren't in the right mindset, then it can hinder your well-being. If you have a caregiver who doesn't get any breaks from their constant caregiver role to do self-care in any aspect, then it can lead to caregiver burnout. When this occurs, it can spiral into other issues on the caregiver's overall health. Instead of setting large goals for oneself as a caregiver, setting smaller, more attainable goals can create a better well-being. These goals can be as small as taking a shower more than twice a week, having 10 minutes of alone time, or doing mindful meditation before bed. The COVID-19 pandemic forced everyone into quarantine, leaving children and their parents around each other 24/7 without a break. This led to parents having caregiver stress and taking it out on their children or themselves based on a variety of issues. Patrick and colleagues surveying perceptions by caregivers, taken together with our study assessing perceptions by children, both demonstrate that family stress is related to financial constraints, such as increased experience of food insecurity and loss of medical insurance coverage, interpersonal issues related to child behavioral issues, and associated mental health concern of parents. The pandemic raised awareness to the fact that caregiver stress not only affects caregivers, but the children or persons who the caregivers are taking care of. Caregiver stress during the pandemic. In the video by Global News, Dr. Alani mentioned that many parents experience caregiver stress during the lockdown when they are stressed beyond their means. Caregivers often lost their expression of empathy when trying to juggle multiple things, and this resulted in the product of caregiver stress towards those they were taking care of. Dr. Eggy, who works at a memory care center for those who suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, mentions how caregivers often don't realize that they are suffering from caregiver stress until they are to the point of being so irritable and exhausted from their caregiving duties. Both are different examples of how caregiver stress affected people during the pandemic and in general. Attached is a link for the video from Global News. Examples of caregiver stress affecting well-being. I recently had an arthroscopy done on my shoulder due to letting my caregiver stress get the best of me. I ended up with severe arthritis and a torn labrum in my right shoulder after ignoring the pain for as long as I could tolerate instead of getting the help that I needed. In that situation, I was hurting my own well-being and my physical health. I have various friends and parent groups I am in who let their health decline because they are overwhelmed with caregiver stress and don't go to the doctor in time. It is hard to find respite care for children with high needs, and sometimes a support system is hard to come by. This caused a decline in the caregiver's well-being because they were unable or felt selfish when fulfilling their own needs. Therefore, it's important to set those small goals to refill your wellness, mental health cup so your well-being won't be affected by your caregiver duties. When caregiver stress happens, your well-being can feel like you're playing a game of Twister, never knowing what the spinner is going to land on. This is a visual reminder that not every day is a picnic of feeling love or optimistic, or even an easy day, and you must have those timeouts or you'll approach that burnout. Reducing caregiver stress. The Key, a healthcare organization, created a video about 15 ways to reduce caregiver stress, and they are the following. Breathe deeply, exercise, find a healthy outlet, meet with friends, listen to music, clean the house, take a bath, laugh, get a massage, pursue a hobby, brew a cup of tea, get creative, get organized, stay in the moment, and ask for help. Attached is the URL to view the video. What to do? If you're suffering from caregiver stress, reach out for help. If you have a support system, let them know you're struggling. You're not alone. Consider some of the examples from the previous video. Take time for yourself, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. Make small goals for yourself to raise your well-being to help you realize that no matter the size of the goal, you can still accomplish things. Consider looking into mindful meditation to help clear your mind with overwhelming thoughts at the end of the day. It can even help the person you're caring for to relax just as much as you. Remember to breathe. Some good movies to check out in relation to caregiver stress and well-being are The Fundamentals of Caring, Justine, and Me Before You. They all deal with caregiver stress and how it affects the caregiver's well-being in one form or another. The first two movies are on Netflix, but Me Before You is on Amazon to buy.